Hey, good morning, everybody. We are back with another live edition of the Ad Podcast coming to you from the Cannes Lion up in the podcasting suite at the Media Center on the main Palais. We've got Mark Figliulo, the Chief Creative Officer and co-founder of Fig, a great agency based in U.S. market, New York City.
Yep, down in Soho.
Let's go.
All right.
So, tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us about the agency and what brought you guys to Cannes this year.
Well, I've been coming for a long time now, so I love it. But this year we're here because, we're doing well with Publix. We had a couple shortlisted.
Nice. Congrats.
So that was nice, yeah. But it's more to be here for the networking. That's why you come. So see people they haven't seen in a while and meet some new people.
Nice. So any other thought leadership you were doing this week? Any panels?
Yeah, I did a couple. Yeah. Our thing that we're talking about this week and for the past couple of years is the role of creative data in the industry.
Okay.
Because, we're a creative shop. That's what we live and die to tell great stories, right? But what's happened over time is the media, and not just media agencies, but media in general, it's really taken a larger role in what happens to creative when it runs.
Yeah.
So with AI and everything,
the channels are important.
Yeah, and it gets chopped up and moved around, and you don't even know what's going on.
Lots of 500 versions of every hero asset.
Yeah, and it's really surprising. And you think your campaign's out there, and it's really not. And clients think, oh, we bought that campaign, it's out in the world, and it's very different than what's out in the world. Mm-hmm. So we started, talking about it, and we're like, we need something like a creative database. We need something that creative is active in the whole production, including when it runs. So we came up with a thing called Story Data, and it just looks at the data inside every asset. Mm-hmm. So the visuals, the copy, all that kind of stuff, and the music, and it analyzes it. Mm-hmm. And our database up to 1 million assets now.
Wow,
so
that's
we
crazy.
Really now we know what's going on. We have a creative ID, so that could travel with the assets, so we know what happens to it as it goes along.
Yeah, you can make sure that brand consistency and what your creative team originally wanted to put out in the world doesn't get morphed too much by the media channels and shows up in a way that maybe wouldn't support the work or honor the work.
Yeah, and it's just, and we use it to build a campaign. So, hey, what's going on in the category? Yep. And then we test, copy test it with the tool. And then, like I said, we travel with it. So we really do keep track of what's going on in the creative. And now we could optimize creative instead of optimizing just media and, why people. It's out there, everyone knows, we follow the clicks. But they don't ask why. Or why that asset, not that asset. That's something we're good at. So I think we need a creative database or a approach to creative that is more modern than what creatives typically do. Is like, trust me, it's great.
Yeah.
I think we had to jump in the pool and figure this out.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's a theme that I've been hearing across a handful of different agencies that I've interviewed this week is the idea of building proprietary tools in-house, and if it works, maybe even turning that into another line of business, going out and licensing it to other agencies.
Yep.
Are you guys going to keep that as an in-house capability for something proprietary, or have you thought about productizing that and actually bringing it to the marketplace?
Yeah, that's right where we are. I don't think it's going to be something for other agencies. I think Fig will have it as a proprietary tool. But to work with media companies, to work directly with brands, yes, we are going to be doing that. Nice. We already, our brand, all of the clients that work with Fig already use it.
Nice.
So now we're going to just extend that to other people.
Cool. Right on. So anything that you've attended this week as far as sessions or panels, anything standing out as kind of a theme or point of view that you're going to bring back to the team and kind of tell them, hey, here's what we saw, here's what we did, here's what we think is going on, and here's what we're going to action on for the next 6 months to a year?
The theme that I may have come with looking for it, so I found it, is
nice.
Media agencies and creative agencies getting closer together.
Interesting.
Everybody wants it. Clients want it. It just makes perfect sense that we work as teams versus, two individual agencies.
Yeah, you don't just hand off the asset once it's done and
let them
figure it out.
I think each discipline is good at what they do, but we have to just work in concert with each other, that's all. But that's the panels I've been listening to, and it's hard because there's media, and like I said, big media. It's like there's so many. It's so fragmented. Like this, short format, vertical format, all that stuff. It's hard to keep up with. So that's what we're here listening to. Is like, how do we stay close to it?
Yeah, that's awesome. Any work that's impressed you, that's brought home brass that you think is inspirational or stand out?
One thing I'm looking at that's interesting is the OpenAI versus Anthropic, because they're both really good campaigns. I think Open dropped first, and really nice. I think Jay Miles shot it. Really nice stuff with the type. It's just simple. It's breakout. And I think it's going to do well. But then it was followed up with Anthropic, and it was kind of they challenged OpenAI.
Yeah, it's
thing.
humorous
And
with the idea.
Yeah,
of
and
like,
it's kind of old school advertising, but it's good. Like the comparative, like Mac versus PC stuff. I think it's gonna be really effective.
Yeah.
So I think I'm looking for all right, who's gonna win that battle because I think they're both contenders.
Yeah, I heard Zach, who was the original go-to-market first marketer at OpenAI. He's out as a thought leader now, but he's been talking a lot to the industry about the marketing of AI and the idea that there's a lot of fear in the world, and technology companies and companies really need to tell uplifting stories, positive stories about AI, with the idea of like what can it do to change humanity, what can it do to superpower people so they can get out of menial tasks and things that take up their time and force them to be in front of a computer versus out in the world doing deeper, more meaningful work, such as attending an event like this, having human connection, creating content, doing the things that AI can't do, at least yet. But I wonder, a lot of these frontier labs, so to speak, they kind of catastrophize, we're the third industrial revolution. We're going to put half the people out of jobs. It's like very much, a lot of that is positioning at the end of the day, right, to justify their massive valuations.
Right, exactly.
If you eliminate half the consumers from the world, I don't think that's going to make for a very great economy or an ecosystem. But I wonder if what your point of view is on kind of that. That's why I like Anthropic, because it's the only one that's like leaned into humor, right? It's
yeah,
like
exactly.
they're not trying to have this mystique kind of like kind of this mystery aspect which also I think connotates to fear a little bit. Like, we're so powerful, watch out, kind of is like the message that you hear that you kind of take away a little bit.
Well, the other thing about Anthropic, I think in the long term they're going to win is, so they have a good campaign. They're being honest and they don't do ads. That's a good positioning.
Yep.
But the way they run their business, like they do have
Trust.
some form of a moral foundation. It's not deep, but it's there, and it's more so than OpenAI.
They're kind of positioning themselves as the good guys.
Yeah, that's exactly right. They have a position, put it that way,
Yeah.
and the ads just reflect that position. So I think overall they're going to have a stronger brand.
Yep.
And a lot of it does come from the founders and everything else.
Founder of Dario, and just kind of there was that scuttlebutt with the Department of Defense and.
But I think they came out from a brand point of view, they came out on top.
Yeah, a lot of brands
from business.
Right.
But,
well, a lot of brands wanted to work with them because of that, right?
Yeah,
so maybe they lost the government stuff, but maybe they picked up a lot of corporate clients.
And brand trust is really important. Just people on the street hearing, all right, they had a moral high ground. All right, I might trust them a little bit more. So in the long run, that stuff really pays off.
I love it.
But just to your point about AI obviously is a topic everywhere.
Yeah.
Everyone's talking about it. The one consensus out there, and it does go back to what we're here to talk about, is everybody's going to have the same tools. These platforms are huge. Everyone's going to use them, and as they should. The difference is you need something proprietary. You need data, because the AI just eats data, right?
Yeah.
So you need your own data so you could use AI in a different way. If you don't have that, you're just, also ran.
Yeah.
So I think that's the chatter this week for me is like, not only do you have data, but what kind of data? How proprietary is it? How much will it work with AI? And that's why we're really doubling down on creative data, because, hey, that's what we do. That's what the part of the story we care about is the creative.
It gives you something proprietary.
Yeah, and I'm talking to other founders. It's a really important part. And it's not easy to do because it doesn't exist yet. We're developing it.
Yeah.
But it's really important.
Yeah, it's interesting. I talked to a search consultant this week who ran a search. She invited 3 agencies to respond to a brief, and they all basically turned in the same brief.
Exactly.
Because the AI systems that they all used came up with the same insights and the same strategy.
Right.
And do you think, how would you advise agencies to leverage the capabilities and the power of AI, but make sure that they're still injecting their creativity and their point of view on the world to make sure that that AI doesn't just become a crutch and make it. I know responding to pitches is not always the easiest thing, and AI kind of is this proposed panacea where it's like, oh well, I get a RFI. This normally would have took time and money away from my team to pull in the group to do a pitch.
Right.
But if everybody's turning in the same results, then the clients get frustrated, and then the search consultants are out of a job. Like this gal lost the search because,
Right.
she didn't vet it. So, so she's lost trust with these agencies that she put in the room. Be curious, how can you leverage AI for pitches, but make sure that you're still doing something that's unique and using your creativity and what you bring to the table?
I mean, it's all good questions. Like one thing, like right off the bat, do you use it? Like as a creative shop, that's a first question. It's like, I wouldn't get caught in the middle, put it that way. Either you use it really effectively with your own proprietary data, or keep it intuitive and do what you're really good at. Is a couple of people sitting around the table and figuring stuff out. So I wouldn't get caught in the middle, like I said, because I think that your example, I bet that's what happened.
Yeah.
I bet there's a few people didn't have a lot of time. They typed in the same shit and they got the same shit out. Like this just, I don't know these people at all, but that's just not. It's a little lazy.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. I think so. Anything left this week that you want to go out and check out and see? We got a day and a half left.
More catch up with people. Like
Nice.
One thing that, like the networking part of it, like it's so easy to get cynical, and I'm at the top. We all bitch and moan, but you're here and it's beautiful, and everybody's here.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy. Everybody's here. So one thing I'm doing is just meeting with other founders, and
Nice.
that's really great. We're rarely all in the same place.
Yep.
So you end up having a dinner with, the other night I had a dinner with 4 or 5 founders right in my space. People I really, really admire, but I haven't gotten a chance to really hang out with.
Yep.
So we had a great night just talking about, the different challenges, but different, like, holy shit, look at us.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. It seems like Cannes is an opportunity. I mean, obviously, you go against other agencies on pitches, and there's a spirit of healthy competition, but feels like Cannes is also an opportunity to build connection with those relationships that you might normally see as competitors, but you can kind of learn best practices from each other, stuff like that.
Yeah, especially, in our position, we're an independent shop, and the independents kind of hang together. So in Cannes, it just becomes even more obvious. It's kind of us against them, because Cannes is run by the big networks. It just is,
totally.
and it's fine. They
They put
pay
up
the
the
bills,
big bucks, yeah.
which is fine. But as independents, we're here. We want to have a say in things, and so we tend to group together. People try to organize us formally, but more importantly, I think it's just we're in the same boat. Let's support each other.
I love it. Awesome. Well, Mark, appreciate you coming on and spending a few times with us talking about yourself and your agency. If folks at home want to connect with you or follow the agency, follow your thought leadership, where do you want to send folks to tune in?
Fig at, I don't even know. Mark Figliulo at fig.com.
Nice. Well, we'll link to everything in the show notes.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Appreciate you coming.
All right, man.
Cheers.
Thanks.
On YouTube. Finding the right audience to build a media plan requires hours of research. And optimizing campaigns is time-consuming and a bit of a guessing game. That's why we built technology to do it for you. Strike Social.